I think everybody should embed assistive technology into their presentations. So I'm just going to point out a few things for your viewing pleasure. We are going to be doing some stuff that is on the screen and is a little small. I'm just going to point that out. So if you want to pull up your laptop or your iPad or whatever and join the meeting so you can look at that screen instead of this screen, I think this one's the best one. So if you can see what's on here, you're good. But trust me, you want to hear less of my voice and see what's going on. Sound fair? Okay. So here's my first fail. I put together a slide deck. Did I use assistive technology to put this together? I sure did. I did not design this slide. All I did was type in some words and add a picture, but everything else was through the magic of AI and designing slides. But then I forgot to go into my view tab, or my review tab, sorry, and I forgot to check accessibility of all my slides because, yeah, no, I'm the only one that's going to admit to this, by the way. I do have some warnings. The reading order on slide 1 is not awesome, mostly because of this thing down at the bottom. I'm going to tell you that. And then it auto added my captions. So if you need a screen reader for some of your screen reader options are not, it's not going to explain what's in the picture. So I will try to explain those. Okay, fair enough, everyone? Let's do this. Ready? Okay. Again, if you're sitting on the back, you might want to join the meeting remotely just so you can see the screen, because it is going to be pretty screen relevant. Yeah, I know, but Austin won't make it bigger. He makes it stay as only like that 1/3 of the screen. I'm Erek Engar. Yes, that is spelled correctly. If I pull it up in the PowerPoint, though, it'll say it's not. It doesn't like me. I work for Davis School District. I am the assistive technology coach, so I'm the assistive technology specialist / coach for 93 campuses, 94 campuses now, and we just announced a new one, so another junior high coming. So I do a lot, right? The thing that I've learned the most from that is that you need to be very efficient in how you do some things. Hence Kanban boards. Anybody here ever heard of Kanban boards before they came into this session? I got one head nod. Only because you looked it up last night, yeah, right? It's not usually what you're thinking of when you think assistive technology. So this is really more about how our team runs and how we do things using project management software to keep track of everything. So Shayna was here last session talking about how Granite does all of their stuff. You're going to see a lot of similarities. This is going to be a lot easier. So I am going to need a couple of things, and I am going to need a screen coming up here pretty quick. Here, sorry, I'm going back one. Nope. Do I need to reshare my screen? I lost my connection and it's trying to reconnect. So really what I'm hoping is that as everybody joins the meeting, we slow down the Wi-Fi enough that it, I am on CapNet, testing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, refresh, video stream. Why does it say I do not have Wi-Fi? Because everybody's trying to join as they come back from lunch. Well, this presentation is going to be a lot worse without this, but it'll still work, just not for the poor people who are online. It is not joining CapNet. Yeah. I do not have, I have a Mac, so this isn't good. I didn't bring a Ethernet port thing with me, sorry. Here we go, continue to the internet. Oh, it's probably because it was 24 hours ago that I joined it yesterday. See me problem solving right there, guys? Technology is not for wimps. And there you go. Let's try that again. You at join. Oh, whoops, I clicked the right thing. One more try. We got this. That's how I also fix a lot of things right there. Still says I'm offline. How many people are online, Austin? 10? Oh, do we leave them behind, guys? Oh, that might do it. And this is what Microsoft Planner is. So it's a project task management software. So anybody here doing tasks with your assistive technology team? Maybe one referral is a task, maybe an assessment is a task, maybe lots and lots of tasks, right? What are you guys currently using for task management? Like, how are you currently tracking things, keeping on top of things? Patchwork. Sticky notes are a version of a Kanban board, right? The low-tech version, right? We do low-tech and high-tech in assistive technology. Google Sheets, so you're using a lot of spreadsheets, Excel documents, those kinds of things, Word documents, lots of things that kind of help give it some sort of form, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump in, and I'm gonna need everybody's help with this. So I need everybody to turn in a referral for me. So if you will pull out your phones, grab the QR code. One quick caveat, it's gonna ask for a student grade and school. Because of our technology conference, we are only accepting rock and roll, soul bands, and other music from the 60s and 70s. 60s and 70s, yes, yep. So you can do a band name, you can do an artist. There's 4 Beatles plus 1 if you want to go that route. We'll see how many John Lennon referrals we get. But make the rest up, okay? So this is a simplified version of the referral form that we actually use. Pretty basic, right? Who's the kid? Where do they live? Where are they at? What kind of areas are you looking at for assistive technology? What do you need us to do? Add some notes, okay? Is that for me? No, I just thought I'd stare at you awkwardly as you walked in. Everybody's working hard for a moment. They're filling out a referral. So let's see, there's 10 people online, so 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 people more or less. So let's say my day consists of getting 24 referrals. Austin's turning in 1, 2 maybe, so that's 25, right? So I'm expecting 25 referrals today. Again, there's one of me for 93 schools, so that's not too far out of the realm. okay? But it's a little bit hard to manage. So the other place I'm going to go is I'm going to go to Microsoft Teams. This is where my project management software lives. I added a planner app to the Microsoft team, and here we go. Okay, I'm going to hit this button right here for 1 second. I'm going to refresh or reload this tab, and let's see how we did. Paul Simon in the house. Who referred Paul Simon? Somebody, you did? Thank you. Oh no, whoops, it just switched. Hold on. What's that? Are you not proud of who you picked? If you're embarrassed, just tell me who it is and I won't call on you. No. Okay. I do like Bleeding Gums Murphy. I'm going to say Beastie Boys, technically, yes, 70s. Started in the 70s. In fact, they played, yeah. Freddie Mercury, all right. We got Pink Floyd. Yeah, definitely needs a referral. Got to keep him off the grass. Eric Clapton, a bunch of other people. Okay, Neil Diamond, nice. Thank you. Neil Peart. I do love some of these references. Thank you very much. Okay, so notice, did anybody see me do anything, or was I just standing here while you guys did all of those referrals? All of those referrals popped into my project management software with just a simple automation, right? The minute you finish a referral, it jumps into my project management board. So now I have that information. My district one will also send me an email with that information saying, somebody referred a kid, here's who it is. Okay, so that I don't miss anything. Okay, so let's do Freddie Mercury, and let's talk about what we got for Freddie. So a couple quick things, and I'm going to enlarge so it's a little bit easier to see. The downside of that is we're going to see a little bit less of the screen. Oh, hold on. Oh, maybe I'm zoomed in as far as it'll let me go today. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, but now there's a ton of work, right? On the flip side of that, right? Like I can get all the referrals I want, but that's a lot of work, right? So now I've got to figure out how to deal with that. Okay. Oh, I forgot to add one thing. I forgot to add it in. It didn't show up. Mine also shows up with a priority. So there was a rank it section, but I broke the integer on it last night. Sorry. It'll actually tag this with that level of importance. So when I ask about one, maybe you can help me out. So let's do, who did we say we were going to do? Freddie. Okay, so instead of finding Freddie, I'm just going to filter, and I'm just going to type in Fred. There we go. So I can, out of all of those things, I have a search feature. I can just find the kid right away, like that. Okay, so here we go. Oh, do we want Freddie Mercury in 12th or Freddie Mercury just blank? Can we double him up? 4th grade? Okay. Oh, he's in 12th grade. Okay. Okay. So notice this assigned this to me. So I'm the assignee on this task. I can assign anybody else on my team as well. So let's say Robert is one of the people on my team. I could assign Robert to this task as well. It will email Robert and say, hey, Robert, you just got assigned this task. So this is Microsoft Teams, and the app in Teams, it's Planner is what it's called, Planner. Yep. If you have Microsoft Teams, it should be built in. If it's not, and if you're not a Microsoft district, Asana, A-S-A-N-A, is just a much better version of this, I'll be honest. It just doesn't, ours works within our whole system, so it's easier for us that way, but Asana is way cooler. Again, I don't think I mentioned this, but I am not affiliated with Microsoft, clearly. But it works the same way. It has task cards, task management, all of that stuff, okay? What did we, let's see, we did an AAC communication for him. So I'm just gonna add a label for AAC so that I can hurry up and find this one later. Unless I didn't do my labels yet. No, I did, there we go. So I'm gonna add a label for it so I can quickly filter it that way. I'm gonna say, we're just getting started. Oh, no, somebody did do the priority status. This was a low priority status, but let's say I want it to be important. I'm gonna bump that up and make that status important, okay? The start date was today because that's the date that you filled out the reform. So now I know when that project started. I don't have to go back and go, when did we get a referral on this kid? It's all right here, okay? I can set a due date. So let's say I want to get this one done in 2 weeks. I can assign a due date, and now it's going to remind me when that comes up. It's going to say, you got to take care of Freddie. It's coming up. And then if Freddie's due today, it's going to say, Freddie's due today. And if it goes past that and I don't mark it complete, it's going to go, Freddie's past due. Okay. So it's going to help keep me on task, which I really like. Okay. So here's the notes that you added. It was for AAC and communication. You're looking for an evaluation, whoever it was that referred this. And he needs to clearly communicate and needs anonymous. And he was referred by the Queen manager. That's the band, just in case anybody didn't catch that reference that somebody put in. Okay. The other nice thing it did is it added me a checklist, right? So now I know what I need to do. So let's say, does the Queen manager, the manager of Queen, want to raise their hand, or is this one that might be embarrassing? No, this. Oh, okay. Oh, let me say one more thing. I'm going to pass by some things without realizing that you're not following along with what I'm saying. Just stop me. Yeah, well, you were going to ask a question? Oh. Oh, no, so was it somebody here that referred Freddie in the back? Okay, all right, so I just contacted you. I'm checking that off my list, okay? I've already looked through their IEP and their eligibility because I have access to that remotely, right? Hopefully everybody has a system where they can go in and look up kids' IEPs. They don't have to go out, open the file, pull it all out. Hopefully we're past those days. Did you get a permission to observe? Okay, perfect, thanks. Okay, so see this right here? I'm observing you. I'm gonna check that off my list. Who doesn't love a checklist, by the way? Anybody? Anybody in here not love a checklist? You wanna hear my favorite fact about checklists? Anybody read the checklist manifesto? Yeah? Do you remember the statistics on how often doctors do not wash their hands? It's so scary. When they ask doctors, they say, hey doctor, do you wash your hands between patients? You know, all the time, some of the time, none of the time? They're like, oh, all the time. Always wash my hands. Are you kidding me? That's gross. When they put up cameras to observe it, it's something like 40%. So you know what they did? They gave those doctors a checklist. And you know what that number turned into? Above 90%. All it was a little checklist that said, did you wash your hands? And so then they wash their hands. I love a checklist, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So on our, I didn't include it on this sample one, but on our form, it actually has it embedded in it. So they can get it signed right there and actually upload it right there too. Yeah. How did I get the form to talk to the planner? No, this is a good question, right? But you're stealing my thunder. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Because is your mind sort of blown that like you just all filled out these referrals and I have all of this? Is this an easier way to do some things? Okay, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get to there. You didn't steal my thunder. So I could have titled this presentation, How to Use Google, because that's what I did. I Googled, how do I get a form to create a task in Planner? And there was a nice little video that showed me how to do it using a tool called Power Automate in Microsoft. If you're not Microsoft, there's other things like, the names are gonna escape me. I'm so bad with names, but there's a bunch of other tools. Like if you're using a Google form, there's a bunch of tools that will automate that process for you as well, right? So you can take a Google form and add it to an Asana document. Most people who use Asana use Google stuff. So somebody's already built it and you just go do what they did, right? Simple as that, okay? I'll show you the automation in a minute. It's kind of cool. But you've already Googled it, right? So again, title of the presentation, know one more thing than the person you're talking to some of the time and Google the rest, right? Okay, so back to Freddie. I came out and did an evaluation. I'm gonna show you where we're gonna add that kind of stuff. And then I checked out an iPad to him, but let me add a note to that. Okay. And then I'm gonna follow up with the team, and that's probably gonna be my due date. Okay. So I can also come in back in here onto the notes, and I can type in all of the stuff that we talked about while we were doing this. Or, oh, hold on. Oh, sorry, new Mac. I can type in all of the notes of all the stuff that we talked about, and then it will all be there for me. Oh, maybe not today. Let's try adding the notes one more time. It might not be because I'm sharing my screen and it's using a different mic. And we're going to say that's what it is. So let's add in those notes. Here we go. Okay. So now I have all of my notes about this kid in one place, right? I have all of my checklists, so everybody on the team knows where I'm at in this process. And, oh, here, I should have shown one other thing. We're going to go back and undo a couple of these boxes. So we're going to go back to, we have permission to observe, okay? I'm going to show those items on the card for this kid, and we're going to go through the whole process together, okay? So here's Freddie. I've got my permission to observe, so I drag and drop him into my observations board. So these are the Kanbans. These are swim lanes or Kanban boards, so I can drag and drop these things to show my progress on the student. So at a visual glance, I can see here's my new referral pile. Here's where I'm at on observation. Here's the observations I need to get done. Here's the evaluations I need to get done, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Padlet works similar to that in that you can move things around, but it's not going to archive stuff. And this is the big thing at the end of this we're going to show is all of this archives into an Excel document. So anytime I need to go back through years, I can just pull up an old Excel document and search for, hey, what did we do for this kid? Okay. So let's go back to him. We need to get an observation done. I'm going to come down to here to attachments, and I'm going to add a file, and we're just going to go to downloads because I think I downloaded some stuff. We're going to add the WADI procedural stuff to this kid. We're going to add one more thing. I think I downloaded the ones from Granite District. Maybe I didn't. Oh, maybe I didn't. What? Oh, I'm on desktop. Thank you. There we go. Thanks for helping me out, you guys. Cannot tell you how much I appreciate you. I don't think I did. Okay. Well, we'll go back to I think we're going to say this one. I can't read all the titles and I'm not going to worry about it too much. But now here's all of my files for this kid as well. So instead of in a separate file somewhere else, they all actually live right here. So again, here's my student referral, all of my information about that student, all of my observations, all of my information about this student, all in one little spot where I can also track progress, right? Not bad, not bad, okay? So, oh, here, classroom observation. I did do the right one. Let's hurry up and pull up a classroom observation on this kid. See if it'll pull up in Word. Here we go. Oh, I didn't grab the fillable one. I have all these as fillable forms. I'll re-upload them into the Sketch thing. So if you want any of the WADI forms fillable, that's where they're going to be. So let's hurry up and go through and get our observation done. This is in Klingon, just in case you were wondering why it's hard to read. And it's happened at 21, okay? All right, so then it auto-saves, so I'm just gonna save that. And now my observation's done, and I've got my observation right there with them. So let's click off observation. By the way, did you notice my progress bar is getting bigger and bigger? Huh? Who doesn't love a progress bar? People actually, mouths opened at that one. I like that one, thank you. I wish it was rainbow colored, and I wish it sparkled more. It used to sparkle when you would click something off. It used to go like it would give you like a little like show. Doesn't do it as much anymore. Okay, so that I did the evaluation. Oh no, wait, I haven't done the evaluation yet. So now I go back. I'm going to move this kid over to my evaluations folder. I'm going to say, okay. Here's my evaluation notes right here. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to say, okay, evaluation's done, and we've got him a device checked out as part of that evaluation. Okay, that means he is in trials. So I just move him over. Okay, we're doing all the trials, et cetera, et cetera. We get to the end of it. The team says, hey, this is exactly what he needs. Thank you so much. What else do we need to do? Nothing. And I say we followed up with the team. And then I can either, since I already followed up, I don't need to put him in there. I can actually put him in the completed folder and watch this. He goes into completed and he disappears off the board. He's still there. Don't worry, we didn't get rid of Freddie. All of his information is still there. It's just out of sight, out of mind, right? So if I get a call back, like let's say I went and observed this kid in September and here we are in March and the team's like, hey, what are we doing with Freddie? I can go back and just search for him really quick, pull up all that information and it's all right there. Okay? Okay. We're going to talk about this last bucket over here, eligibilities to be determined, TBI, deafblind, and multiple disabilities in a second. Anybody want to hazard a guess at why we're going to talk about those in a minute? Yeah, there's actually an eligibility component for each one of those categories that includes assistive technology specifically. Those are the only 3 categories for eligibility that have those. So, okay, so I'm going to clear my filter. Do we want to walk through another example? Does anybody want to volunteer their student that they threw out? Yeah, each kid is their own card on the caseload, yeah. Yep, I just used that filter. So I just type in their name, or in this case, I could even type in rock. Anything that's in that title, that filter will find. Or if I have it assigned out to different people, because I can add people to this team, I could search by who it's assigned to. So if I just want to find my stuff, I can search just my stuff as well. Yep. Yep. And then I can pop it back open and I can say, oh, looks like we're not done yet. We need to, what do we need to do after we've done all this for Freddie? We need a, let's say his parents are going for a private device, right? So we've done all of our stuff. He's been using our AAC system, but now parents are interested in adding in, they're doing an independent evaluation. They're getting a device funded, okay? So what do we need to do for that kid now? So maybe contact, or we need a release of information. So ROI, is that how we abbreviate that if we're typing one-handed? So we need a release of information. Let's say we got that. We need to contact outside SLP. We need a doctor's prescription. So notice these are all editable. So even though it automatically popped in this checklist, I can add to it, take away, I can do whatever I want with this, right? These checklists are super flexible. Doctors, RX for prescription, okay? And then we need to do, what does insurance always require? Like a 30-day trial or something crazy? And then we need to contact UAT for a loaner device. Okay. So yeah, so I can go back in, pull up that kid again. I can add to it, take away, do whatever I need to on that same kid. Student, I should say, sorry. Not all of them are kids. Freddie's, how old would Freddie be right now? He would be an old student, okay? Oh, progress, again, I unchecked it, so I can say it's in progress now because I'm back working on it. I can change that due date because now I got 30 days from the day after today. So now I'm gonna jump ahead a month and I'm gonna go, there's 30 days right there. So now I've got a new due date for that 30-day trial, okay? So I know when to follow up, okay? All right. Ready to do another? Yeah, I can absolutely assign it to multiple people. This team right now is just me for demonstration purposes, but our team has all of our team members on it, so I can assign anybody to that. Yep. Sends them an email, little thing that says, hey, by the way, and it sends them a note in Teams too saying, hey, you've been assigned a task. And it even sends a link directly to that task. So back to Freddie here. When I click on his card, I can copy a link to this task. and I can pop it into an email. So when I email the team and I say, hey, we got to finish up this stuff with Freddie, they don't even have to go into the planner and look for it. They just click on the link and it takes them right here. So, okay. So we actually use this again in Davis. We use it for our local case management team. So when students are referred to special ed, they use a similar process that we helped them set up. And then when they're done with that local case management process, if they get referred to special education, that card moves over to the special education planner under new referrals so that they pick up right where the local case management team left off. I know, you people are going, wait, you could do more? Yes, wait, there's more. Yeah. But it's because it's just a super fluid, simple way of tracking progress on things, right? Again, Excel, Google Sheets, all of those things work. Some people like the quick, just glance at it all and see it all aspect of it. I think though the software that's designed specifically for these things makes it a little bit easier. Let's see, Chad's not here, maybe he's online. He covers, I think, 3 school districts. How do you communicate with 3 different school districts about a group of kids, right? Like even Davis School District where I am, we're only like 5 miles wide or something crazy at the widest point, but we're like 30 miles long, right? So from the south end to the north end, if I need to communicate with people, this is a super easy way to do that, okay? And keep track of it. Even for our IEPs and eligibilities, I have related service providers who are in that building once a month. They don't need to come in and see what's going on with all of that. It just shows them. In fact, there's another cool one called Task by Planner, which I can't pull up, which will actually show them all of their schools, all of their assignments from everywhere in one place. I can't because it has student information. Sorry, it's not because it's a secret. Okay. All right. Let's go through one more together. Anybody want to volunteer their student and help me walk through? Starship. Okay. Yeah, and then Starship after that. And then what was it after that? It was one other thing. Like St. Jefferson Airplane we built this city on rock and roll. Like, I mean, that is progress of some sort. I don't know what kind. All right, so I just type in Jeff because I don't want to search for all of Jefferson Airplane. Here he is, or she. Let's assign it a grade. You didn't fill out the referral form quite right. On ours, it has the grade and everything are separate. On this one, I wanted to make it just a little bit easier to type it in. Let's put Jefferson in 12th. Do we need a school? Mars High? Okay. Okay. Again, it's already assigned to me because that's on our form. I have it set up so it can assign to different people, but usually they come into me first. Okay. So we are seeing him for a reading and a writing evaluation. So let's go ahead and add those labels. So reading and writing. Again, I can sort and filter by these labels. That's why I add the labels. Makes it really easy to see like what the caseload looks like. So if I want to look at just my reading referrals, just my writing referrals, just my AAC referrals, I can do that. He's a new referral. He's now in progress because we just started. Let's give this one a month because it's a little bit tough to figure out. So we're going to come down to the 13th, I think. Yeah. Okay. Did you put it in as a low priority, like a 10? No, so that part's broken. What's the, oh, you did? Okay, I'm gonna keep it at a low priority. That's why it's got a whole month before I do anything or get finished, okay? I just contacted you, again, thank you. Interesting IEP. I have a couple of notes about what you need to add, by the way. I'm just gonna send those to you in a separate thing, just some things to consider. Did you get a permission to observe? Yeah? Watch this. 16th today. Right there. I can just add it. Again, really flexible, right? So yeah, I can just add it into there, or I could add it up into the notes. Like if I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk, that we talked about, or if I filled out another form that's attached below, I could do all of that. Yep. Okay. All right. So I need to schedule with you, Robert. What's a good day to come out and see Mr. Or Miss Jefferson? John. Next Thursday? Okay. Scheduled for next Thursday. That's what I'm typing in Klingon right there for you. Again, just for time and one-handedness. Okay. So I come out, I do the observation, I go in, I just add my notes. There is a way, by the way, to automatically upload one of those files for each kid. Like it'll create a file and add those attachments automatically. That's the next thing I Google and watch that video on how to do that. Okay. So we got that done. While I did the observation, I'm just going to let you know, Robert, we just did a written productivity profile with that kid, and a protocol for reading accommodations, a WPP and a PAR, right? Those are going to be attached down below. Don't worry. But that's the evaluation that we did. And guess what we found? Number one, he's not served for reading or writing on his IEP, Robert. I'm just going to let you know that. So really, like, he already has access to all this great stuff, and that's meeting his needs. He's getting A's and B's. Okay, so then I can just pop him into completed and mark him completed. If I decided that we needed to trial some stuff, I don't often do trials, quote unquote, with like reading and writing. Usually the assessment says, this is what we think they need, so let's get it in place for them and do it. And then we run from there, okay? All right, so here we go. Oh, it did sparkle a little bit. Did you see the tiny bit of sparkle? Here, we'll go back. Ready? Watch for the little, just the tiniest bit. It used to be a little show. It was nice. Okay. So there you go. Any questions so far? Anybody going, I think this might be a nice idea, but it's a lot to jump into, right? Like, it's nice to see how it's all done. I'll be honest, the first time I used this was we were figuring out how to use it for our IEPs and eligibilities, right? So that was 14,000 individual tasks. So I met with somebody from Microsoft, and they said, oh, here's how you do this. And they were walking me through everything. And at the end of it, I just said, that was really great. And he was a former teacher, so he knew exactly what we were trying to do, helped out with everything. I said, I don't sport, okay? I don't do sports, just in case you were wondering out there. But I was like, it's like I just went to an NBA game. Like, I could see everything you were doing, and I could follow all of the action. I could never go and do that. I could just never go and do that, right? Like, that was the jump off point for me. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I understood every single word you said, but I did not understand most of what you said, right? Like, at the word level, I was totally good. When you're like, hey, I'm just going to grab this JSON file and move this in and do this, I was like, you bet. I understand those words. I don't know how to do that. But after he walked me through it a couple times, I knew better. And after Google, I knew even better. I think this is one of those things that we do like a summer professional learning community kind of thing on, and we help people figure out how to put them together, right? Because I sat in the last session and Shanna was saying, yeah, so then I go through and I print up all of these evaluations and I see, I look through to see what next steps we need to do and all of these things. And I was just sitting there going, you could just have a checklist and it would tell you what to do next, right? But you have to know how. Yeah, I'm volunteering myself. If you're not picking up what I'm laying down, I'm totally volunteering to do this over the summer, where we have a couple of sessions where we figure out how to do it, including if you're in a Google district. I think we'll all get together and build them together would be the idea. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So there is a way to do that, and you'll notice when we come back. Let's see. Come back here. Oh no, it just says it was created. It didn't say I assigned it on this one. When I run my other automation, it tells everybody I assigned them. Maybe it's not because it's me this time. For other people, it might say Eric assigned you this task. So at the first of the year, I make everybody mad because I assign them their IEP and their eligibility for every single one of their kids, which is a lot. Let me show you the Power Automate and just kind of walk through that piece. Is that cool? Okay, here we go. So we're going to go to Microsoft Office. We're going to go to my apps and my Power Automate, which is right here. I'm going to go to my flows. That's what they're called. And this is the one we did, was AT forms on tasks or to tasks on Planner UAT version. Here's the one that I use, but we're going to click open this one and we're going to hit the edit button. And here's the secret sauce behind it. So this is just really basic coding. Like you add coding blocks. So people who have used, what are the other simple coding apps like that we use with students? By the way, you might have some high school students who know how to do this and can help you better than I can. Just gonna throw that out. Not probably do, you do. So the first thing I added was when a new task is submitted, it grabs the ID from that form, right? And that form just comes up in a list of options, right? So here's all of my forms. So I just picked the one that the form that I wanted to use, okay? Then it said get response details, and I had to add in the planner version that I'm using, and then again, that ID from before, so it could connect those two, okay? Again, this might be like the NBA thing where you're like, yeah, I see what you're talking about, and then we'll walk through it again. So then I had it create a task from that. So what it did first is it went out to that form, it grabbed all of those responses that you turned in, and then it's going to create a task. So this is the group ID, this is the planner ID, the group is the UAT team that I created. The plan is the AT referrals. The title comes off of that student name, but I could also do date referred, right? So now that title is gonna be that student name, date referred. So on mine, it pulls in student name, grade, and school, and puts all those in the title, instead of making you type them into one box, okay? Everybody with me so far? Everybody going, yeah, this is kind of cool. And I totally see what you're doing. Like, this is doable, but I can't walk out of here and do it. I got you, okay? I told it to go to the new referral bucket. I could have just as easy told it to go to the follow-up or the eligibilities or whatever, okay? But I told it everything that comes in goes into new referral, okay? The start time is just the submission time that was on that form, again, because it went and pulled that date that you put it in. I could have it add labels if I wanted to. And then this is the priority thing that I think I broke because it has to do an integer. No, it should have, I don't know. We'll check it again, okay? From there, it assigns me to those tasks, but again, mine assigns whoever they clicked on the box so that the team members are on that form. They click on who it's assigned to, and it gets assigned to them, okay? But again, right now I have it set up to go to me, okay? And then it goes through and it updates those task details. So it adds in the reason for the referral. What do you guys need? Who's on your, I don't remember what that one is. It adds your email, so I know who referred the student. And then what do you need from the team? And then it adds those checklist items. So I just type those in. And again, this is like, these things are all pre-built blocks. I just add in that information. I am not that smart, okay? Everybody say it with me. Eric is not that smart. Thank you. Thank you. Tall either. I'm the shortest one in my family, by the way, but I'm the only one that's not bald. So you take what you get. You take what you get, okay? So that's how that automation works. I can copy that automation and share it with somebody else, and they could have their own version of it. I've never run into a limit. Actually, I have. Here's. You do not need to know this at all. You can only assign 20,000 tasks per year in Microsoft Planner, and I did run into that limit only because I was assigning them to the whole school district with my automation. This year, it's going to be broken out into the rest of them, so I had to go and delete their old planners. Okay. Okay. When I leave, I'm going to Hawaii, so I want to help you, but no, 100%. I can share this flow and the files because I'm not the only team member. Everybody else on the team still has access to all of it. Yep. No, it's not context dependent on me. It is right when I build it, but then I can quickly just share it out to other people. Yep. So, yeah, and at the worst, once you're all experts, then you'll help my new replacement, right? Okay, sounds fair. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, and that's one of the things I love about teams in general. So coming back to teams, well, spoiler alert, that's the next session. So maybe you'll just have to stick around for that one, is how do you keep all that information? How do you share all that information? So I'm going to talk about one thing real quick, eligibilities for those categories. So I'm going to clear this file. And here's what we've started doing this year with limited success, I'm not going to lie. So again, all of these categories need assistive technology as part of the eligibility. It has to be documented how you considered this in order to be eligible under TBI, deafblind, or multiple disabilities, okay? I was gonna say, raise your hand if that's what you're doing. No, we're not. I'll tell you, I'm not even getting there yet. So what I do at the first of the year is I use that same automation that I have for my IEP one, and I just create a card. So I pull it out of ours is called My Idea. It's our own proprietary IEP software. I just pull all that information out of there for and then filter by those categories. And then I have it create a card for when they're due, minus 2 months. So if they're due in March, it bumps back their due date 2 months before that. So I get on top of it. So I know who all of those students who are eligible this year are under those categories. And then it's part of my board. And I do it, instead of just an eligibilities one, I actually do this. I do a September bucket. I do a November bucket, et cetera, all the way down. So then I can just hurry up and know, like, hey, in September, I have all of these. I need to help these teams with these eligibilities in November. And again, with the 2-month cushion, okay? So I can actually keep track of all those. So if my boss ever walks in and says, so are you going to be busy this year, Eric? I can just pull that up and go, yeah, I think I got a lot on my plate already, and it's already planned out, and I already know what to do for each one of those, okay? Which is the nice thing, with not a lot of work, right? There is some background work right now still. Like I said, I'm still creating some files. I'm still adding in those attachments, saving as for that specific kid. But hopefully by the start of next year, that part will be done, okay? So then when I have an eligibility, I can assign it. Again, I'm the only one on this team right now, so it's just getting assigned to me. I can say it started. I started it today. It's due in a month or in 2 weeks. And I can go through and review the data, and I can use that WADI consideration guide, which I'm just going to attach at the bottom. I can identify any missing information. Again, there's a form that kind of discusses that, but that's just my IEP and eligibility review. I'm going to gather some information. I'm going to go do an observation, take an assessment. I'm going to schedule with the team to complete that WADI decision-making guide. We're going to prioritize our tasks. By the way, are we walking through all of this with all of our teams? No, it's a lot, right? Like, I'm going to pick and choose some of these. So let's say I'm not going to do identify missing information. I can just delete that. Because I can delete any of these task list items that I don't want, okay? Then again, I just keep going through. I keep checking everything. I type in all my notes that I, as we go through that day by day. And then at the end, I mark them off. So now at the end of the year, I have two options. I can keep this whole planner in place and just add to it next year, which is what I do. But the other thing I can do is come back here. Excuse me. I'm going to go to the website version of this. So this is just Office 365 Planner. I'm going to click on these 3 little dots, and I can export this plan to an Excel document. So I have a backup of it. So if I move, again, when I win the lottery, move to Hawaii, somebody else has access to that Excel form as well. So all of that information, everything we checked off, when we completed things, it's all there, okay? So heaven forbid we get a due process, any of that kind of stuff, all of your documentation's in one spot, easy to find, okay? Questions? Anybody going, I should have left at the beginning of this? That's fine, I don't mind. How many of you here, don't raise your hands, are here because the rest of your team, though, went to other sessions? You're like, no, we got to cover our bases, guys. It's okay. It's okay. I would have done the same thing. But it's just, what are your thoughts, honestly? Like seeing how it works. Job done. Thank you. Yeah. Yep. So let's add a couple quick setups, right? Here's a couple things that we didn't talk about that are team tasks. I have equipment deliveries at the first of the year, right? So I can add in a new bucket. We're going to call it delivery. Delivery. I'm really not a good one-handed typer, you guys. Okay. And then I can just add in a task. So that task name is going to be, let's do iPads as a chunk. Okay. Let's assign that to me. And here we go. So here's my new iPad delivery checklist. Okay. So again, oh, I didn't assign it right. There we go. Now it's assigned to me. It's not started. I need to get this done by the end of the month, because let's say that's when school starts. Okay. And then I can just go through and add either like the student names or just the schools, right? So now when my whole team comes in, somebody can mark off when they've completed those schools. Okay. And so now I know, hey, all of our AAC devices are delivered to this school, this school, this school, but I've still got these schools to go, right? So that's another ATT task that you guys are doing, getting things delivered, getting things picked up. What other kind of tasks are we doing that we could? They're not allowed. I'm just kidding. Okay, so caseload. Unfortunately, I'm the only person on this one, but let's go back to here. I just always make mine bigger. By the way, I expand it out, so it's gonna get a little bigger here for a second. I can group by who that's assigned to. So now I can see everybody on my team's caseload, right? Who has what? I can see all of that just at a glance. The second part of that question was, do you remember what the second part of that question? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? Okay. So if it's a reoccurring one, so my IEPs, for example, we just rerun that planner every year because our students change so much. And they change schools, et cetera, et cetera. so for those, we don't reoccur. But let's say I have iPad pickup or deliveries, and I have all that list of schools. I could just set that to reoccur every year, so I don't have to rebuild it every year. Okay. I would have to uncheck those boxes. So I'd like to just make a copy of a task, because I can do that too. So I can come in here, click this, I can copy that task and call it returns, and copy it. Did I hit it right? Where did I put it? I knew that question was coming. Don't tell anybody. I 100% encourage every single AAC device we have to go home for the summer. You know why? Because kids need to communicate, and nobody has told me that I can't yet. And my bosses are not here today or online. I checked. So yeah. We did a bunch of grants and other things, so like we don't feel like we're putting things on the line. I leave it up to teams to decide, but I encourage them to have those skills in place that it goes home for the summer. Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Come on, guys. Other than somebody's got a budget item, I get it. Okay. Yeah. So then I could have a bucket. I could create tasks for retrieve these summer iPads, right? And I could add that list of kids in there, or I could attach the form or the file, the Word document, the Excel document that I have that has that list of kids. Okay. Yep. Okay. What other kind of tasks do we need to accomplish as an AT team? We've done a pretty good job, I got to say. We've covered a lot of ground. We've got all of our eligibilities for each category. We've got all of our new referrals that come in. We've got all of our deliveries and pickups. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I usually, right now, I do that just with me, in part because that's where I ask them some follow-up questions. But yeah, absolutely, it could email the person who turned in that form. Actually, there's a thing in Microsoft Forms that just automatically emails them and says, "Hey, it's been turned in." So here's and with their what they put in there, so it sends them the whole thing. Yeah, that's just a checkbox on forms for Microsoft. Probably pretty similar in Google. Yeah, so yeah, let's add our IEP addendum list. Okay, let's go ahead and create a task for that. We're gonna call it this kid add IEP, just so you get the idea. We're gonna hit add task, okay? So now what do we need to put in a checklist? Like, how do we wanna do that? We can do that together. So is it just, if it's just for one kid, maybe I need to contact IEP team, right? Do we need to have a meeting to do an addendum in your district? No? Okay. Do we need to send that to parents? Okay. Okay. We're going to add in call then. And the nice part about this is once you do these checklists and you do them right, you don't have to keep thinking of what's next in the process every single time, right? You just stick to your ticket, Harry. You follow the plan. You just do what it says, right? Super nice for new teachers, by the way, with IEPs. No, here's the process, guys. Just follow the process. Okay. What else do we need to do on an addendum? Do we need to signatures? On this one, we just need to call parents, right? We don't need, do we need signatures? Okay. Okay, I'm going to type in signatures. I'm going to abbreviate. What else? Do we need to file it? Does your IEP software require you to like finalize or do anything? Okay, just checking. Finalize, that's not how you spell that at all. There you go. Okay, so then I can just go through. Again, I just check them off, check them off, check them off, mark it completed, and off we go to the next thing. Okay? Yeah, so really flexible for like any of the tasks. If as new tasks come up, you can just create a system for that and put it into your workflow. Again, I didn't originally set mine up with this buckets of observations, evaluations, trials, follow-up. I just really honestly do it by month. When it gets referred, I put them in the month that I got it referred to, so I can kind of keep track over the year of what I did when. It's got a bunch of cool features in it, so I can actually pull up a chart to share with my supervisors of here's how many referrals I've gotten, here's how many are done, here's how many are in process, here's who they're assigned to, or here's what they're for, or here's where they're at, I guess, and here's who they're assigned to, and unfortunately on this one, it's just me, okay? I also have a list view, so if I wanna see everything just in a list, and I can do that by like the date that they're due. If I put in due dates, it'll show me in order everything that's due, so I can just check off the list, go down the list, but I can still pull those up and work on them right here. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. What else? Oh, they've added some things for filtering and sorting. That's fun. That's new to me. Okay. Any other thoughts, questions? Everybody ready for the summer? Spend a little bit of time like figuring out how to like set it up and work. Okay. Anybody think, no, this is something we are not going to touch? Thank you for your information. Thank you for your time. I'm going to go back to my team and report back that somebody owes me an hour or 50 minutes at least. If so, that's fine. But if you have any other questions or any other things, feel free to stick around for a few. I'm happy to answer them. Okay. Other than that, I said start on time, end early. How'd I do? So close. So close. All right. Thanks, everyone.